Joining us on the program now from Te Wananga Ihorangi, Amiria Reid. Kia ora, good morning. Thanks for your time today.
Kia ora, Andrew. Thank you for having me.
First up, talk to us about your connection with Te Wananga. How did that come about? How did you first get involved with that?
Yeah, so I actually was raised in Te Waipounamu in Christchurch.
Yep.
And I moved here to Auckland at the start of last year to begin my journey with Te Wananga Ihorangi, first as a student, and now I am a kaimahi. But I was always learning te reo Maori. I would want to give credit to my father. He was the one that restarted that journey for reclaiming the language and the culture within our family.
Mm-hmm.
From his journey, I joined on, and I was raised in Christian schools, but in those schools, the people teaching us kapahaka and reo Māori were my parents.
Yep.
But we didn't have any other teachers within our Christian schools, and in our church context as well. So I've always had a fire, an eagerness to learn te reo Māori. So I learned all through school, learned through University of Canterbury, and then Te Wānau Aotearoa. But I still had this question sitting in my mind: how do I join my Christianity with my love for my culture and my language? And this is a true story. I was scrolling on Facebook.
Yeah.
Saw the trailer for Te Wananga Ihorangi, and I was like, is this even real? Because they were talking about and revitalizing our language, and I was like, man, this is like an answer to the question I'd put.
God uses Facebook, it turns out. I mean, who knew, you know?
He does. And then from there, honestly, it was November 2023. And I was like, I'm going to apply. I'm just going to leave my whole life behind, all my family in Christchurch. And I was like, this is a strong calling from God for me to pursue this path. And he lined everything up from a house to a place to stay, to a wānanga, to a job. He provided everything. And then, left everything behind in February, came to the pōwhare at Te Wananga Ihorangi. I still had all my clothes and everything in my car. I hadn't yet moved into my house, and we went to the pōwhare for the wānanga. It was like, I was like, I don't even know where I am, these highways in Auckland.
Yeah.
But from there, it's just been an amazing journey. And then I went through the first cohort with Te Reo Maruata, which is our level 6 program. And then from there, Te Karere was like, do you want to come and be a kaimahi? And I couldn't decline.
That is absolutely fantastic. Just wanting to see how reality met expectations, because as you say, your journey had been leading there for some time. God got your attention through Facebook. That may be a first, by the way. But from there, you're coming to Auckland, you're all exciting, full immersion, te reo. How did the reality match your expectation for that?
I think at the start, I was in a bit of a honeymoon phase, and I was like, this is just unreal to meet other Christians that are Māori and that are wanting to learn our language and reclaim our language. There were some moments that hit throughout there where I was like, well, I've left my whole life behind.
Yeah.
I've left I don't have anything. And so those were moments where I really had to shift my focus onto God for strength in those moments. But I think now it's kind of sinking in as well. And I have to sit as a kaimahi at the workplace. And I think it's really cool now. We're just future focused, and we're driving towards a better future for our mokopuna, a space where they can see Te Ao Māori and Christianity in alignment.
Some people would struggle with that, honestly. And I mean, your own story, there was a little bit of, okay, how does this fit in together? How does my faith, wanting to be committed to Jesus, how does that fit with also wanting to go deeper in terms of the Te Ao Māori world? Some would see almost a bit of a contradiction there, and in some parts of society and culture, there's a bit of a clash of worlds there. But Te Wananga Ihorangi, of course, provides a solution to that culture clash, if you like.
Yes, I definitely see that through this space, we're not just providing one answer, but we're providing a space for students to be able to search for that answer for themselves, so their own mana motuhake, their own tino rangatiratanga in that space. So we're not providing the answer black and white. We're saying here is a space where you can research, and there's people around you with similar passions where you can all search for the answer together.
Yeah. And what has that been like for you? I suppose the spiritual as well as the linguistic part of that journey. How has that played out for you?
Yeah. I would say definitely through karakia, learning different words that you can use to explain who our God is, especially through karakia.
Yeah.
I've been able to explore a different side of how I can connect with Te Wairua Tapu, how I can connect with the Holy Spirit, and especially and through songs as well. You just see my eyes have just been opened even more. And there were songs and hymns and things that I would be singing as a kid in Te Reo Māori, and I didn't know Te Reo Māori back then. And then now, knowing the language, I turned back and I was like, I was always singing those words. I was always praying those prayers in Te Reo Māori. I just didn't know what it meant. And now I'm connecting those two dots of what I was raised as a kid, singing these songs and these karakia, and now knowing the language. It's just connected those two paths for me. Yeah.
Now, everyone's still buzzing after Te Matatini, of course, and kapahaka and the important role of kapahaka. Is this also a way of being able to express faith for you?
Definitely. There are some great composers out there. I think of Twini Ngawai. She's this kuia from Tokomaru Bay. She has composed some of the greatest waiata Māori. I'm a bit biased because I myself, I'm from Te Tairawhiti, from Ngāti Porou, from the East Coast. She's from. So I verged towards singing all of her waiata. She was one of a kind. Her momo, she had her own style. But there's one song that really resonates, Tō Aroha. And it sings of Matariki, the Matariki star cluster, the symbolism of the new year for Te Iwi Māori, for the Māori world. But she uses that as a metaphor to connect to Jesus and how he is the light for Christianity. And it's a song that I was always singing as a kid. And then when I learned what it actually meant, I was like, wow, through kapahaka, we're expressing our love for our culture and for Jesus at the same time. And it's also in a fun way. And if you love performing, and then you also can connect people in that are watching as well, so they can feel connected to that story as well, which I think it's powerful, kapahaka in that way. And then on the Matatini stage as well, there were some amazing groups singing Himene. I was blessed to stand with a group as well in Auckland, and our first waitatira was a Himene, a song of praise to God, which we're also being able to do that at our wānanga as well. It's Wananga Ihorangi. Every morning in the first opening karakia, we all stand together, all our students stand together, and we sing a himene, a hymn to open the morning, to settle the students' nerves sometimes when they're getting into the rumaki space. And you can see through waiata, through song, their nerves are calming down, and they're able to just be in tune with the song, and with God as well for some of our students.
I mean, as it was your experience, you can sing along to waiata even if you're not fluent in the reo. That you can sing the words before you understand, and for people that are taking first steps in terms of this full immersion journey, that's perhaps a comfortable place to start, and a good way of boosting your vocab as well, right?
Yes, lots of new kupu, lots of new words to learn. But I think you're right. That's where you start, is by learning just a few words. And if you can string a few words together, you're like, oh, atua, that's God. Kaha, God and strength, and then you can get in tune with the song as well. Yeah, you're right. You're right on that.
Very good. Well, in terms of, I suppose, the spiritual aspect of what you do, and you said Te Matatini, there was examples of that there. Is there an openness in Te Ao Māori world to discussions on faith and spirituality for people with different faith expressions to be in dialogue together? Is there an openness in that space in your experience?
Yes, from my experience, and I think we saw that at Te Matatini. That was a really good example. Their pōwhiri that they hosted, they followed the tikanga, the kawa, the way of their people of Taranaki, and followed the likes of their prophets of Te Whiti, and their wahine were doing their poi and their pōwhiri, which all symbolises the peace that these prophets pursued in the time of parihaka, and they carry that on through this generation to now, and when they host porphyry like this for Te Matatini in a wider scale. And then as well, we saw other groups take to the stage, which were bringing out different faiths. The Ringatu, the Rātana, which was of Taranaki people. And then we also see some people which are expressing atua Māori. So I definitely, through my experience and through seeing it in the world of kapahaka, people are bringing forth different stories and different opinions as well. Sometimes some people, one of the groups from my home, they did a haka on Te Wananga and an opposing view on him, one of the prophets. Yeah. So people are always bringing in sometimes political kaupapa to the haka stage as well. So yeah, on the haka stage, I would say it's a good platform to raise different ideas.
To me, it's so exciting because, I mean, as you say, your first cohort, all excited straight up from Christchurch, gear still in the car. But now, we're into the further cohorts have come and gone, and it's wonderful to see what the legacy of Te Wananga Ihorangi will be as more people of a Christian faith lean into the te ao Māori world and bringing with them the confidence in the reo, but also the confidence spiritually to speak truth and life into that space. Let's see what God does through Te Wananga, even through Facebook, right? Exciting things that God is doing in this space.
You're so right on that. And looking to the future, the opportunities are endless. And I think it's just exciting. More of my focus, I'm working in the marketing team alongside our tūmoaki, our principal Te Karere. So we've got a lot of kaupapa underway. Working alongside the New Zealand Bible Society for the Māori Audio Bible, and we have a hard team on that. Huge kaupapa, it's a lot of work, but when we think of our future, kids coming through our tamariki, our mokopuna, what resources they'll have available at their hands when if they want to express, their faith to God and Te Reo Māori. It's just opening doors. So yeah, we're very grateful and excited for what the future holds as well. Yeah. Very
exciting indeed. Hey, thank you for the mahi. Thank you for the work that you do at Te Wananga Ihorangi. Ihorangi.ac.nz if people wanted to find out more. Amiria, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you so much. Ka kite.
Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.